Alright, let's look at the facts. Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, breaks his body to save the city. Oliver Queen becomes the Arrow to save his city. This guy becomes Daredevil to save his city. What's up with all these superheroes saving cities? Daredevil Season 1. Alright, so Daredevil is the first of the many Netflix shows that's going to be going on around Marvel. Just like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black, they release a whole season in a day. And I love that. I think releasing a whole season in a day is the future of television. So what is Daredevil? To be honest with you, I didn't really know much about Daredevil before I watched this show. I just thought, ooh, cool, Netflix, superhero, what could go wrong? A lot, actually. Let's really get down to it. Marvel has not been doing their TV right. Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. has gotten a little better, but it's nowhere near the level of Arrow or Flash. I'm about 3 episodes into Agent Carter. I really enjoy it, what I've seen so far. Daredevil. Man, I loved it. Daredevil is a guy, the character's name is Matthew Murdock. When he's a kid, he saves some guy from getting hit by a car, and he gets acid put in his eyes, and he loses his ability to see, which means he goes blind pretty much. But does he really? Yeah, he does. What happens is his other senses like pretty much heighten. It's kind of cool the way he sees because everything is red pretty much. He's very perceptive. He can hear things that other people cannot hear. Other than that, he doesn't really have any superpower. He's not super strong or anything like that. The intro of the show, the intro is pretty cool. I like it. But it's all through the red. It's pretty much how he sees the world. It would just suck though, going blind, not being able to have the ability to see. The story of this show is Matthew Murdock. He and his buddy, they're lawyers. The other character is Foggy Nelson. They start up a law firm called Nelson and Murdock Attorneys at Law. The cool thing about Daredevil's character is that he can somehow read heartbeats, so he can tell when people are lying. So that comes in handy when you're interrogating somebody or you're being a lawyer. I also picked up another character who they save at the beginning of the first episode. She becomes a secretary to the gang. Shout out to Charlie Cox. He plays Daredevil. He played being blind pretty well and also being a superhero pretty well. I also saw him play in The Theory of Everything as well. I thought he did a pretty good job in that movie as well. The villain in this show is Kingpin. And Kingpin, he's just a businessman who it's very mafia-ish. Both cities corrupt and everything. He's got cops paid for. He's got senators paid for. One thing I like though is it's set in the post-Avengers. So in the Avengers, New York City pretty much gets attacked by aliens. And this is it doesn't have anything to do with any of the Avengers storyline. But because New York got attacked, it created an opportunity for people like Kingpin. It's a very small story, and that's what I really like about it. It's also got a very Batman Begins / Arrow feel to it. Kingpin, he's not trying to be a bad guy, but he really is a bad guy. He's a bad guy that thinks he's a hero. He feels like he has to do bad things in order to make the city a better place. Actually, probably one of my favorite villains I've seen in the Marvel Universe. Because let's face it, the Marvel Universe supervillains have been terrible, really. The only really good villain we've seen is Loki, and I bet Ultron's going to be amazing. Daredevil pretty much wears a toboggan over his face. The action's pretty well done, and it's pretty graphic as well. Curious to see how Daredevil plays out into the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because there were small references to other parts of the Marvel Universe. Like in the first episode, I heard Rising Tide. Rising Tide was mentioned in the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Also some Civil War advertisements as well. I'm curious if Daredevil will actually show up in Civil War. I mean, he probably should. Overall, I really enjoyed this show. This is the first Marvel show that I've actually really loved. Kingpin was an awesome villain. Charlie Cox plays an awesome Daredevil. Smaller story set in a giant universe that we've seen so far. I'm going to give Daredevil Season 1 a 4.5 out of 5. Have you seen Daredevil and what are your thoughts? Comment below, let me know. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button. Subscribe, see more. All too easy.